Hey, this is Alexis Gumapas from Bit by Bit Coding, here to teach week 1 of our Advanced App Development course. Today, we will be creating a simple two-page application that asks the user if they would like to sign up for our rewards updates program. By clicking yes or no, you can have different inputs, and then it'll redirect you to an exit page. So let's start by creating our project by opening a new project in code.org's App Lab. Rename your project to what you would like. I'm choosing Bit by Bit Code. And here you can see the workspace where you can add code. You can flip through your different screens, and there's also even block code. So go first into design, and let's rename our screen to be home. You can now choose your background color or even choose an image to act as your background. I'm going to choose a light blue color to match our bit by bit code coloring scheme, but you could choose whatever color you'd like. This looks pretty good. So now that our home screen is colored, you can see all the different elements you can add onto the page, but first let's just add a label to act as the title of our app. So you can see the ID, and I think we should rename our ID to be title. So title, and let's rename the text to be welcome to bit by bit code. You can customize the width, the height, a lot of different options to really design your app. I'm going to drag the label to the center of the page, and we can choose a different font family. I'm going to choose Courier. So this looks pretty good. Now we should add the beach image into our app. As you can see, the app has a pretty beach image underneath our text. So drag the image onto the app, and then you can upload the file of whatever image you'd like. I'm just going to choose the beach image. As you can see, our pretty beach, and just click choose. Now you can customize the width, height, or whatever you'd like. As you can see, when you move the image around, the x and y coordinates change. The x represents the horizontal axis and the y represents the vertical axis. I'm going to just move this right in the center. Next up, we have another section of text asking if the user would like to sign up for our updates program. So let's write the text. Add a label into the app, and we'll change the ID to be question_text. It's very important to remember what ID labels you have so that when you code it, it won't make a mistake. So for the text, I'm going to write, would you like to sign up for our updates program? Question mark. I'm going to change the width to 280, and I'm going to change the x position to 30 and the y position to 135. Whoops. And I'm also going to change the font family so that it'll stay cohesive with the rest of our app. Now we need to make the buttons for the user input. This can be done with a radio button. So drag the radio button into the app, and we are going to give the button an ID so we can later code it to receive the user inputs. So the top one will be equivalent to yes, and the bottom will be no. And together they are going to be in a group called yes no underscore RBG. So the ID for the top button will be yes underscore RB, which stands for radio button. And we'll put the group ID as yes no underscore RBG. I'm going to just make sure to increase the width and the height so that it's easier for the user to see the buttons. Now drag on another radio button, and this will be our no button. So we'll change the ID to no underscore RBG and increase the width and the height to 15. That looks pretty good. Let me just push it lower. Next to the buttons, we have the yes and no, which indicates what each button means. So add a label next to the top radio button, and we are going to give it the ID yes underscore text, so we can later code for the different outcomes based on what the user clicks. So let's label the text yes and give it a width of 57, height 18, X position, Y position, and let's change the font. So that looks good. And now we have to do the same thing but for the no button. So add another label below the yes, and let's give it the ID no underscore text. And the text will just be no. So let's change the width and the height, the X position and the Y position. I think that 194 or 5 will be good. Yep. So now we can change the font family, and now the user can see what each radio button means. Okay, so now the users know what each button means, we can create the email section for when the user clicks that they do want to sign up to our updates program. As you can see, it asks for your email and a thanks for signing up button. So let's add a label, and we'll set the following properties for that label. ID underscore email text, email underscore text, what's your email, and we can change the width, height, and I'm going to move it a little bit up so that it looks a little bit better. And for this, you'd make sure to keep it hidden, as it's not going to be immediately shown in the app, and it only appears when the user hits the yes radio button. So as you can see, once you create it to be hidden, it becomes sort of a transparent color. And I'm also going to change the font family to Courier. So now below the question, we have a text box for the user to actually input their email. So let's drag the text input, change the positioning, and give it the ID email underscore text input. So leave the placeholder blank because we don't want anything to pop up in the text box. And you can change the width, height, text color, or whatever you'd like. And make sure that you keep it hidden. I'm going to make sure that the font family is the same as the rest of the app. So keep it hidden. And now let's add the two different exit buttons for when the user clicks the radio button. So as you can see, the exit button for the when you click yes, and the exit button for when you click no is much like in different positions. So you have to create two different buttons. So drag a button, and we'll first create the yes button. So I'm going to give it the ID exit one underscore button. And then I'll give it the text, thanks for signing up, exit here. As you can see, the text is sort of cut off by the smaller button. So I'm going to lower the font size to around, around 10. That looks pretty good. Now we should add another different button. Oops, wait, I forgot. You also have to keep this one hidden. So now you can see what would appear for when you click yes. So now let's create the second exit button for when the user clicks no. So add a button to the app and let's rename the ID to exit to underscore button. Oops, I mean exit to underscore button. And let's give it the text. Thanks for visiting, exit here. And we'll lower the font size so that all the text is visible. So let's lower it to 10 and keep it hidden. So now we have finished our homepage, and now let's create another screen to act as the exit. So click on the drop down box. And don't click a new screen. And let's rename the screen ID to exit and change the background color to whatever you'd like. I'm sticking with the same light blue color. And just add a label to the center of the page, and we're going to give it the text, thanks for visiting our app. And also let's rename the ID label to be exit underscore text. Let's change the width and height. So I'm going to change the position so that it's more in the center of the page. So X position 40, Y position 225, text color and everything, I'm going to change it to Courier. And that looks pretty good. So we finished the base and look of our app. We just have to add the code to make the radio buttons functional. This is where IDs are very important, as they will be what we reference in the code to have the sort of elements appear on the app. So click on code so that we can go into the workspace. You can see the workspace and the block codes. And let's code for when the yes radio button is clicked and create a conditional to show the elements that we hid in our app. So let's start by typing on event, open parentheses, in quotation marks, yes underscore RB, comma, in quotation marks, click. Then another comma and function close, open and close parentheses. Then let's do a curly bracket and hit enter. And now we can show and hide certain elements on our page. So show element in parentheses, comma, in quotations, email underscore input, text input, and then show element in parentheses and in quotations, email underscore text. What's helpful is that they actually can give you options to click on for your different ID names, and this kind of helps so that you don't like accidentally mistype anything. So I'm also going to show the element of the exit 1 button. Oops. Exit 1 underscore button. And I'm going to hide the second exit button. So hide element and in quotations exit 2 underscore button. So you can see on the side, it's sort of like giving me an error on the screen. So I'm trying to see what I did wrong. Um, oh, I see. So I actually, after each element in the list, you have to put a semicolon, and I also forgot to put a close parentheses and semicolon at the very on bo- at the very end on line 6. So let me do that real quickly. And it's also helpful because they kind of show you what you're missing in each and like why you're getting this sort of error. So then there we go. Now it's fixed. So now let's do the opposite condition for when the no radio button is clicked. So on event, cl- close parentheses, and in quotations, no underscore RB, comma, under, in parentheses, in quotations, click, comma, function, close and open parentheses, and the curly bracket, hit enter, and then we're going to hide the elements. So hide element, close parentheses, and in quotations, email underscore text input, then add the semicolon, hide element, close parentheses, and in quotations, email underscore text, and add the semicolon, and hide element in close parentheses and in quotations, exit one underscore button, semicolon, and we're going to show the exit two button, so show element and exit two underscore button. So there we go, and we have to make sure to add the close parentheses and semicolon at the very end. So now we are going to code both of the exit buttons so that they can return to the same screen once clicked. So let's do that. So on the event that the exit one button is clicked, oops, I added too many parentheses. We're going to do click, we're going to delete those parentheses, and I forgot to put the click in quotation marks. And we're going to do comma, function, close and open parentheses, and then we need to do our curly bracket, enter, and we're going to set the screen to exit. So set screen, close parentheses, and in quotations, exit, and do the semicolon, and make sure to put the parentheses and semicolon at the very end. And we can just copy and paste the same thing, as it's going to be the same thing, and just change the variable or the ID to be exit to button. And you're done. So this is the end of our app, and let's just check our work to make sure everything is functioning. So we can see as we hit yes, it asks for your email, choose, you can do whatever, and when you click no, it also gives you a different input, and we can just reset to make sure that the yes is also um working properly, and it looks good. So congrats on making your first two-page app, and have a great day.